Take me to a place in the nowhere. I just wanna set up a home there. I just wanna set up a home there. I've heard people stay in the nowhere. I just wanna breathe in the clean air. I just want a breath of the clean air. And feel the weight of us escape my chest. Explore disrupting emptiness. No, I just wanna feel the blankness for once. And if you need me, come and I'll be nowhere. Oh. I just miss the way that you hold me, baby. Walking through the space of the hollow empty. Kiss me in the neck as you pull me closely. Feel your warm breath rush through my body. Take my hand and I let you follow. Let's get started, there's no tomorrow. I know what I want. Pull me close and breathe the cool air. Feel my breath, let me take you somewhere. You and I escape together to nowhere.
Clear prop. Good morning, everyone. Crew Socks Aviator here with you live. It is 10 a.m. somewhere, and that happens to be at my home. So my plan is every Saturday I'm gonna come to you guys, and we're gonna do a quick morning flight. I am a father of 3. Been married for about 13 years. I've been into aviation my entire life, ever since my father took me to see the Blue Angels when I lived in Florida. I grew up in Florida, so I know what a real beach is, but beyond that, I love aviation. So that's why I decided, I've been watching YouTube, I've been watching others, I wanted to share my enjoyment with you guys as well. There are plenty of people out there to watch, plenty of content, and honestly, if you're an aviation nerd like myself, you're never going to get tired of it. So whether there's one streamer or 17 or 700 popular streamers all doing X-Plane or Prepare 3D, none of that matters. What matters is you're going to tune in, I'm going to tune in, because we all enjoy this hobby. So we are in the Boeing 737-800, available for free, the ZIBO mod, as most people have for X-Plane 11. If you've never gotten into X-Plane 11 and you're looking for a good simulator and you're afraid you're not going to be able to play Microsoft Flight Simulator, X-Plane is a good alternative. However, X-Plane does have the reputation of being a little more hog heavy, so it's a little more intensive, so your graphic settings and your computer's capabilities may need to be fine-tuned for what you find to be acceptable. Now, what your computer can do for X-Plane and what you think you see us doing, other streamers doing, they may be two different ball games. So just be careful and, do for what you need. If you don't really care about ground traffic, you don't care about the way things necessarily look in the sky, then you could be like me. I don't have active sky for X-Plane. I don't have X-Vision. I don't have a lot of these add-ons for the cloud layers and textures. While they look good, they're also some of them can be frame intensive. So I just have not invested in that yet. Plus, with the computer that I built in order to run a good stream, which apparently I'm dropping frames like a bug. The computer that I built in order to run this stream, well, guess what? I plan to try to play Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, so I do not want to invest in additional software and additional monies more than I already have. I have the Tollus A319, the Tollus A321, I have the Flight Factor 757, I've got the Flight Factor 767, and I've got all variations of the ZIBO mod. So you have the original ZIBO mod 737-800, which we're flying here today. I have the 737 Ultimate and the 737-900 Ultimate as well. So I've got all of those. All right, so our first flight today, I thought my introductory flight would be a fun, quick, and easy one. So I selected my home state of Texas. That's right, that's where I live, Texas. In the Houston area, to be exact, Houston, Texas. So I figured I would fly from the big southern Texas base, Houston, to the northern Texas base, Dallas, for Southwest Airlines. I am not going to be flying online today. Houston Center is online in the VATSIM network, but I'm choosing not to go there. Honestly, I don't want to do air traffic control services and then go over to Unicom. I'd like, if I'm going to introduce air traffic control services, one, it not be my introductory flight, but two, it also should be full coverage. I want you guys to be able to see from takeoff to touchdown with Flight Simulator air traffic control services. So, let's go ahead, and I've done the pre-planning part, right? I've gone to SimBrief. I use SimBrief. I also use Navigraph charts. So if you don't have those things, you may want to invest in them. I invest in Navigraph. I love their charts. I love how easy and seamless it is. That's just me. So let's hop in the cockpit here. Inside of this, we have the AVI tab, which is what we're looking at right here. Okay. I'm going to go to Home, and then I'm going to go to my AVI tab, and I'm going to go to my charts. I'm going to bring up our flight, which happens to be not listed. That's cool. Why aren't you listed? Look back. Back. Whoa. No. And there she is. Alright. So let's take a look at this real quick. We are going from Houston Hobby Airport to Dallas Love Airport, a distance of 263 nautical miles. The planned route is the Whistling 7 with Magic Transition, the Radeon for arrival, and then I'm planning runway 13 right for the arrival, the actual approach and landing. Houston is, let's just say, we'll go down the chart here. Top of climb will be flight level 300 today. The wind expected at that level is 268 at 35. The temperature should be negative 37 degrees with a deviation of about +8. There will be no flight level changes, hence the change and the top of climb are the same. Our payload is expected around 40,940, but in order to make the zero fuel weight calculation 132.8.34, it's a little less than that. It's about 38,000, just because of the differences between ZIBO mod and SimBrief itself. If you guys have a great way of syncing them up and knowing having it know exactly what the operating empty weight is, that'd be awesome. I would love to learn about that, because I currently do not know how to make that exact without doing the math myself and just calculating out. Anyway, zero fuel weight, which is what's important, 132,834 with a fuel on board of about 13,335. Let me make sure that's right. Yep. Fuel on board of 13,335. Our takeoff weight should be around 146, 169. All right. I have not put the fuel on board, so we know it's supposed to be 13,335 pounds. Let's go ahead and get the fuel truck. 13,335? Was that right? Go back, go to Avatab just to make sure. 13,335. That is a lot of threes. Okay, cool. So at least I got it right. Let me. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Notice that's going to give us a CG of 26.6. Those of you following at home, let's write that down. 26.6. All right. We're going to go ahead and put that in the aircraft, and then we can go from there. All right. Let's take a look first. I have not actually looked at the Whistling 7 or the Radeon 4 Arrival. So we can do that also in the Avi tab so that you guys can be a part of it. Let's go to our Avi tab, airports. And we're going to type in the right airport that we're at, Houston Hobby. And we're going to go to our airport charts. Departure is not the Alexandria. I thought I could scroll. My bad. What was it? The Whistling? Yeah, that's right. I was like, Radeon 4? No. There we go. I got confused for a second. Alright, so let's take a look. It's okay, so it's just RNAV, radar vectors to Whistling, Mont, Killjoy, Magic, or Giffa. And so it's the like the Giffa departure. Okay. That's okay. Well, let's have a top altitude listed. Mission altitude. We're going to be probably departing runway 17. So we're going to be going straight down 560. Okay. Runway 4. Okay. So it really wants us to climb high before we make that turn, which that's what we'll do. We'll run off of 17, fly out, we'll get as high as possible, then we'll make that northbound turn towards Whistling. Okay, so that's Whistling. That's fine. Let's go to Dallas Love. And their approach, not approach, excuse me, arrival. Now, what was our arrival? It was Radeon 4, correct? So let's take a look here. Gotta have the magic transition. Cool. So then what happens, happens. 280 between flight level 300 and 240. Here, so really magic happens here. Why? Magic happens here? Wouldn't that be better for like Disney? Anyway. Magic happens here. Jackie. Orville. From Orville to Gobert. Gobert. Oh, like Rudy Gobert. Got it. Like, see? Okay. Got it. Rudy Gobert. Got it. Radeon. Bacher. Baker. Botcher. Okay. And then it's just our arrival. Okay. So let's go ahead and decide now. I don't see any air traffic control on, but typically they will accommodate us on whatever we choose. I love RNAV approaches. It makes it so easy to follow and use. So we're planning runway 13 right. However, the one thing to take note is that we are going to be north of the airfield technically. We're going to be going in a northwest direction. So is it not better to make a quick loop and come in on 13 left? I think that's probably what we're going to do. We'll probably come in on 13. So let's plan for that. Let's plan for 13 left. Alright. Whoops, gotta get back to the right screen here. Up. Look for 13 left. You see it, shout it out, people. No, I'm just kidding. It reminds me when my kids would watch like Dora the Explorer or one of those silly kid shows. It's all like, if you see it, shout it out. Like Blue's Clues was horrible at doing this. Horrible. Steve, I find Steve to be incompetent because not only could he never see any clues, he just was that dumb. Like, oh, what could that mean? Like, debating for about 5 minutes what the 3 clues had in common when you figured it out after the second clue, right? Anyway, that's what that reminds me of. Like, hey guys, if you see it, comment down below. Oh, that's another one. My kids watch some YouTubers, and they're in the middle of doing like a show, and they say, hey, comment down below, and if you want us to go left or if you want us to go right, and then they go left, and it's like, what is the point? I'm watching the video. You've already done it. Why do you want me to comment this? This is, but you know, hey, whatever the kids enjoy. So, Knock Me, Wupag, eBear, Exov, T, Egep, 1-3 left. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And mandatory 4,000 there. Okay. So let's set it up for that. That's what I'm thinking, guys. We are going to go on the Radeon 4 arrival. Come into Bacher. After Bacher, hopefully we'll hit Knock Me. If not, we will hit Knock Me wherever we can within the arrival. That's what our plan is. From there, we'll just follow the RNAV in for 1-3 left. Okay. So now that we've kind of we've got a mental picture of where we're going to go, let's get it all put in, shall we? All right, so I've got a couple, let's go ahead and get it put in there. I was going to say I've got a couple views, but I'm like, yeah, you don't need to see that. KHOU is our departure. The route, KHOU, KDAL. And then we'll go here and directly put in our 0 fuel weight. Now, kids, anyone who is listening, do we remember our 0 fuel weight? Honestly, I'm flying the aircraft and I don't remember the 0 fuel weight. So I'm not worried if you don't. 132.8. 132.8. That's our 0 fuel weight. Reserves, probably about 2,000. I could look, but see. Reserve 2005. See, I'm fine. Cost index, we'll do 15. I want it to be a good climb out. And remember, we were doing flight level 300 for our altitude. All right, does everybody remember what the cruise wind was supposed to be? Go ahead and move up here. Cruise wind, right there. 268 at 35. 268 at 35. The deviation and the ISA deviation, this stuff is hard to actually input correctly. So what I do to make it easier is I'm looking at the temperature, and that's what I put in. Minus 37. Bam. Everything else fills in. The deviation is 8 degrees or whatnot. 5 degrees. I don't know whether it should match or not, honestly. But that's the easiest way that I found to put it all in. Alright. The other page. Ooh, yeah, I'm not doing it. Alright, I am not going to do a decelerated takeoff. I like my babies to climb. So that's what we're doing. Alright, the cool thing about SimBrief is it'll tell you what it thinks you should be doing for your departure. Right? So, let's go to our departure, which is takeoff. Takeoff 170 at 14, temperature 26, altimeter 3008 on a dry runway. It is dry. Bleeds on, engine anti-ice off, flaps 5 for runway 17. It's expecting 135.4 as our departure weight. We're going to put in flaps 5. And then the CG, this is what we were supposed to write down, was the CG in the payload. It's 26.6. Takeoff right. Takeoff. Takeoff CG. Our trim 4.5. So let's actually go ahead and in. We'll just move that trigger. Boom. That's about 4.5. I call that correct. All right. So with that done, we go back to our Avatab, our charts, and we continue forward. Notice, I love this. It automatically populates our V speeds for us. So we will place them in there just like that. At this point, we can actually go to our departure page and we can start planning out our departure. Our departure was the Whistling 7 departure, magic transition with a 1-7 left departure itself. We are going to activate that and go into our routing page, which we're at, for the next section. Now, they happen to be a departure and arrival that have the same transition. All we have to do is go to arrival, find our arrival itself, which was, does anybody remember, the Radeon 4. We're going to look for the magic transition, and we're going to look for that RNAV runway 13 left. Now, did I choose? Which one did I choose? Is it Yankee Zulu? Let's run back and double check what we chose. This is RNAV RMPW runway 13 left. Do I see a whiskey 13 left? Again, guys, if you see a whiskey 13 left, put a comment down below. Alright, and it thinks I can do win up or knock me. I'm doing knock me. And again, we're going to see what that looks like. Don't worry. We're going to check our plan and see what that looks like. Alright, so we've got, notice the legs, a vector leg, then whistling, and then another vector leg after Bakir. I'm going to go direct knock me. Okay? Now that we've done that, we're actually going to move this little baby out of our way, move over to plan, and see if it all makes sense. Let's step through this together. Whistling, Mont, Killjoy, Magic, which is our transition. Then happens here, JC, Jakey, Orville, Robert, Redden, Bakir, Knock Me. Perfect. So they don't overlap. I don't have this problem where Knock Me is actually 7 miles behind Bakir. So we're good. We're absolutely good. And if I don't know the Dallas Mavericks well enough, so I apologize if I don't get these names correct. Okay. So we are technically set to go. I can confirm that the computer thinks that we're going to have 9,000 pounds of fuel. Our cruise is 300, but the one thing I always do is I modify my climb. I love 280.78. Now hopefully I'll be able to get that when we're actually flying. 78, and the descent should be 0 with 29 in this. Okay, so that is good to go. All of our stuff is set, and in fact what we'll go ahead and do is we will discontinue this vector, because we know we're just going to climb on up. We want the computer to automatically know, and we'll most likely make that right hand turn and go from there and just simply vector ourselves. Okay, I've got to put this little Avi tab back. You can never do it in one swipe. No. Then we're good to start the process. Now there was no top altitude that I saw, so we're going to put 10,000 feet, and then our departure right down here. I have to remember to press the buttons instead of just zooming in and out. It just makes 148 is our V2 speed, so we're going to go 20 knots above that just in case, just as our guide. Okay, so we're going to go to 168 in our MCP. 168. And then we're going to be departing off of 17. So let's just put in 17. Okay, good to go. Alright. Again, we are offline, so I don't have to worry about it, but if I wanted to, we can do TCAS 2200 and turn it on. So we're good. Oh, and you'll notice, just in case we're going to fly online, 22.8 is Unicom. Alright, does anybody remember what it said our METAR, or excuse me, our altimeter is supposed to be here? Let's go back home for those charts. Our takeoff is 3008. Sure, 3008. Like that, things look good. Guys, cross-check. Good. Alright, so we've got the FMC set up. We've got the aircraft essentially ready to rock and roll here. Put on both flight directors. Put on the auto throttle. Will be rejected takeoff. And arm the flaps for the toilet. Does it not arm? Oh well. Okay, so without further ado, I think we should. Oh, you know, before we go, I actually want to show you the views. I want to show you what we have. Okay, so I have my normal views. This is going to be for our turn on, turn off of the engines. We're actually going to show the engines. I prefer it. I prefer to see it this way. That way we can actually take a look at the N2 status and introduce fuel without having to have this wide view. And then of course we've got the electronics panels for our communication. I've got my overhead, which you're going to get used to seeing as we move back and forth, turning lights on, turning lights off, switching power loads and sources. I've got my left engine, my right engine, which we'll be using for starts, left aft wing, and right. Okay, just to give us a kind of difference and variation. And then the last thing I have is my GoPro view, which I absolutely love using. So I'll try to keep this as natural as possible as we're flying and as we depart out. I have dropped quite a few frames, and I'm not sure exactly why, but hey, we'll see. I'll see what I can do to keep that from happening in the future. All right, let's get started, guys. Let's get this plane pushed back. Another great thing that you need to get for the ZIBO, and really just for X-Plane in general, is better pushback. Better Pushback is a great pushback program that allows you to plan exactly what you're going to be doing.
Ground to cockpit. Please
Show me where you want to go. You got it, dude. First, I want you to push me out like this. Then I want you to give me a nice turn and line me up. No, not do that. If she's going to push me out like that, she needs to push me here, almost hitting other aircraft, and then get me lined up here, so I can just kind of go. That's what we're going to do. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad the tow is driving up. So, tow's going to drive up. They're going to want us to have the parking brake on. We can confirm that the parking brake is on, so we're not going to have to worry about that at all. Okay, when they do push us back, we will need to turn on the engines. And in order to do that, to turn on the engines in a Boeing 737, you're going to make sure, A, you've got your APU bleed on. 2, your packs are going to be off. And then C, you move them over to ground. Your engine start will move to ground. And typically, you're going to see...
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Thank you. You're going to see engine 2 started before engine 1. But welcome aboard. I appreciate you guys coming. Let's get you in your seats. Fasten your seatbelts, please. We are going to flight level 300. Let's set that now. And landing, come over here and see. When we land, charts. What is height? Dallas is 487 feet.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We will when we get a chance, lady. Okay, 487 feet, so it's essentially, 500 feet. So we'll pop this in and we'll go to 500 feet. You know what, let's do, because it's not quite there, we'll do 450. Just so we don't have any issues. Okay, so before we do all that, I believe that our door was open. Go to ground services, our door. Let's close that door up. Now that we've closed the door, we've got her bypass pin has been inserted. She's ready to push back. I am about ready for her to push back. Take a look back up on the top of the panel. I've got APU power. I can now turn on my anti-collision to make sure that the door cannot be reopened and everybody knows we're getting ready to leave here. Alright, with that being said, let's drop down here. Let's take off our parking brake. She's going to begin pushing us back.
And you may start engines.
Let's wait for this baby to move. There she goes. Perfect. Alright, so now that we're moving backwards, let's go ahead and move into our engine start mode. Dang it, wrong button again. I will gotta get used to that. Left engine, or I should say right, left engine is engine 1, right engine is engine 2. Let's go to ground power mode for engine 2, and we're going to come down to the bottom. What we're looking for is about 20 on your N2. When we get 20 for the N2, we're going to introduce fuel by moving the fuel cutoff lever to idle. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And click just a little bit to make sure it gets in there. Let's go to right engine. Is it not like, I thought you would be able to hear it a lot more. Man, that's upsetting to me. I wanted it to be like rouge. I wanted it like a roar. Whatever. Anyway. Dang it! Alright, so engine 2 is back in auto mode. We can go ahead and transfer load. Let's repeat the process for engine 1. Ground. Whoops. You see the fan blade starting to move?
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Let's check, see if we got N2. And we do. Let's introduce fuel. We've introduced fuel. Let's go ahead and reset the parking brake so they can begin their disconnect process.
Stand by.
Thank you. All right. While we've got the engine spooling up, let's come back. Dang it, up top. We've got engine 1 in auto mode. Let's transfer the load. As we transfer the load, we will put the packs back on. We'll put our probe heats on. Our window heat will go on. And that will be it. Trim air, yes. Disconnected hand signals, please. We'll open both valves, but I could, honestly, we can go to auto and it would be just fine. Okay. Oops. So now that we are there, we will go ahead and disconnect or turn off the APU. They're disconnecting up in front of us.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed.
Thank you.
Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time.
On the
Have a
right?
safe flight.
Copy that. You'll be on the right. Okay. We'll look for them on the right-hand side, guys. What we're doing here is I'm pulling up. That's not what I wanted. Airport parking gates, da-da-da. Alright. Okay, we're going to runway 17. This is runway 17. Right along this line. We're right in great position. We're going to come out on Yankee. Going to hit Zulu, essentially, and then plop right over to runway 17. Should be a quick and simple and easy taxi. Let's look over on the right hand side. Excuse me, wrong button. Look over on the right hand side. Do we see them? Did they already? I think they already disappeared. All right. Oh well. All right, so bypass pin, we're all set to go. All right, so before we taxi out, let's go ahead and take care of our flight control. We are going to move aft, forward, left, full aileron, right aileron, left rudder, right rudder. Let's take a look. And we are going to run over here. Wrong button. Left, right, neutral. Perfect. All right. I think we look good, guys. I think we look really good. And we're basically ready to go. All right. We've got engines on. Let's go ahead and set flaps to 5. We remember correctly, that is our flap setting for our departure. Come on, girls. Let's go. I have got to get used to where... Oh, that looks beautiful. I love flap extensions. All right. Excuse me. I'm going to turn on LNAV and VNAV, as they will be crucial in our flight computer. Turn on the clock, because I always forget the clock. So turning it on means, yay, I finally won something in my life. All right. So, with all that done, I will never stop doing that. I have got to stop doing that. With all that on, we're going to turn our taxi lights on. Excuse me. Our runway turn-off lights are on. Our APU bleed can turn off because we're no longer using it. Everything else, it looks good on our panel. We are ready to go. We will disconnect our parking brake and begin a slight taxi. Let's get going. There we go. Let's get this girl going. So flight time, I believe, was about an hour and 15 minutes, but you know me, we're going to take a while to do it. No big deal. I just like to step through the process here. Believe it or not, I honestly talk to myself the same exact way when I'm flying offline. You see all these taxiway markers? That's redonkulous. I've done something, or when I installed this scenery, I've done something wrong. Whoa. Okay. Oh my goodness, where am I going with my cameras? Where am I going? The key is I'm used to an old setup and I wanted to make it better for the viewing public, so I changed it a bit. Look at our left window here. There we go. Now this is runway 3113 left. We are not going to be we're going to be crossing that runway. But as we do, let's turn on our landing lights just to make sure everybody knows we're coming across. We're going to check out left side and right. I can't do it fast enough because I don't have the presets anymore. Alright, now we're at runway 17. Let's go ahead and stop the aircraft short of the runway. Go ahead and put our parking brake on just for a moment. Check out the window. Honestly, not really see. Whoa! Ooh. Definitely said to go left. And I did not do it correctly, so I did not. Alright, checking out the window, checking out the window. Do we see anybody? No. Why? Because we're offline, friends. There's no one there. Alright, double check our systems. I will never stop doing that. Landing lights on, runway turn lights off. I could turn my taxi lights off at this. My wing lights can come on, letting everybody know we are ready for departure, and we are set.
Clear for departure. Enjoy the flight.
Let's go ahead and take off our parking brake
Secured. Have a good flight.
and get this girl moving. 4.5 is still our trim setting, and our flaps are where they need to be. Additionally, rejected takeoff or auto brakes are set, so we are good, guys. Let's get onto the runway. Put our... Sounds good, sounds good. Go full engines. There's our V1. Here's our rotation. And we're up in the air, ladies and gents. All right, let's stabilize our climb here. Remember, we're going to basically maintain runway heading, and we're going to climb. And the reason we're doing that is we got a couple of reasons. Being a native Houstonian, I know that we are, if we make a turn too early and we're too low, we will run into some very tall towers in southwest Houston. So we want to make sure we don't do that. So we're going to go ahead and climb. Additionally, we are really close to downtown Houston. So we want to make sure we are climbing far above the tallest obstacles, which are the downtown Houston buildings, before we make our right-hand turn. And remember, we're going due south, so it is a much better idea to make a right-hand turn in this scenario. So let's get up to 3,100 feet, and then we'll make our right-hand turn. We can start bringing our flaps in. We're at 210. Flaps can come up. And flaps are now up. We'll readjust our attitude. Try to throw some more trim in there. And stay at a reasonable speed. Let's make that right-hand turn now. Drop my nose a bit. And let's take a look outside. Lots of clouds. All right. All right, nose up, nose up, nose up. We don't want to exceed 250 knots when we're under 10,000 feet. We can get away with a couple, not a whole bunch, guys. There we go. There we go. While this girl continues her climb, go ahead and reset. We're going to flight level 300, so let's go ahead and put that in here real quick. Whoa. Again, I let her get away from me. I let her get away from me. My bad, everybody. Okay, when we get to basically a 360 heading, because that's 180 degrees from where we were, we will go into our RNAV, we'll go into our flight computer and try to set ourselves up for a good direct to Whistling intersection. 340, 345. Heading. There's 360. Let's make our turn here. Continue to try to bleed off some of that speed. All right. Now that we're stable, we go here. Legs, Whistling. Yes, execute. Come back up. We've got it. Ooh. What happens when I'm letting go? Why does it get so unstable when I let go of the flight controls? I really need to get out of having a joystick and get an actual yoke. We'll hand fly it until we get up to the ability to finally do an after takeoff checklist, because we haven't had a chance to do that, because every time I do, the aircraft becomes unstable and starts losing a lot of speed. So we will wait. We will wait. It sounds a lot like Tom Hanks in The Terminal. Do you guys remember that? Where he's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I wait. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to Tom Hanks our way through the after takeoff checklist, which is essentially turning off all the lights that you turned on in order to depart. So just making small changes. Stop. She wants to climb, man. She wants to climb. Just making small changes here. I'm trying to get to the bug, the 280 bug, and then I will turn on our autopilot. And I think we're about good there. So let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot, and we'll let the computer take over flight controls. With that being said, landing lights off, runway turnoff lights off. We can turn the wing lights off. Everything else remains the same. Let's come up here. We have pressure, which is actually working. Okay, it is becoming pressurized. We have 300, 450, so we're good there. We didn't forget our packs. I've done that before, trust me. It's not fun hearing the altitude horn for about 10 minutes while it fixes itself when you correct it. Auto brake to off. Our gear is up and neutral. And let's turn on our engine systems. All look good. We are direct whistling at this time. And this is what it looks like. Alright, now that we know we're stable in climbing, let's take a moment to enjoy the view, huh? This is probably my favorite view.
We are passenger Escobar. Passenger Escobar.
Escobar!
In regards to a special meal, would you
Escobar!
to a flight attendant?
Jeez!
Escobar, please.
Alright, we're passing fly level 8, 180, so we are putting our in standard mode. And we will continue our climb here out at 280 knots. It's looking good, guys. Feel good about it. Let's run over here. Our arrival. This is our departure. This is how we look. We're not even on there. Jeez. There we go. I was like, wait, hold on. We're not even to whistling. Okay, why do I keep calling it whistling when it's clearly Wilson? For the record, my son has dyslexia, so maybe I do. I don't know. Never been diagnosed with it. Never really had an issue. You never know. Never know. 13 minutes into the flight, we're at flight level 230. Not too bad, right? All right. Let me come back into the comments. Hey, Javian. Wait, is this Javian? Like my son's friend, Javian? Welcome to the show, my friend. Let me know if this is Javian, like my son's friend, Javian, because that'd be really cool, and I would make sure that my son comes in here and says hello to you. Where we have, guys? We're at flight level 2, almost 2.7. Okay, we're getting close to our top of climb. I'm gonna try to get some music in here, just so we have something playing in the background. Probably gonna come in really loud, so if you want to, turn your speakers down for a moment. It's gonna come in really loud, guarantee it.
Cold wind is
There we go. There we go. All right, and I want to monitor it so I know what's going on with it. Explain. Let's go there. There we go. All right, that's much better. Try to give us something to listen to while we're in the cruise phase of flight here. Okay, so this is Javian. All right, cool, man. Well, what are you doing watching the stream? Javian, that's really cool that you're watching. How did YouTube introduce it to you, or did David tell you that I was streaming? Did you ask to go online with him or something like that? Thousand to go, yes sir. David told you. So funny. So funny, man. Alright. Well, cool. Stay as long as you want, dude. I'm all about aviation. I'm all about aviation, so... what would be your favorite seat, Javian? Where do you want to sit? I got a couple views. Which one do you want to... where do you want to sit? You want to sit on the wing, like we are right now? You want to sit behind the wing, where you can see more ground? Or do you want to be up in the front in the cockpit? Where do you want to be, my friend? We're in cruise. Got a couple minutes to just chill out and relax. And I appreciate the like, guy. I appreciate that a lot. So if you do like the content, please put a like there. I do appreciate anybody who spends even 2 minutes taking a look at my stream, because I know there's a lot of content out there for you to look at. So if you're watching me, I really appreciate that. So any like you can put in there is greatly appreciated. All right, my friend, we'll go up front. We'll go up front for you. You want that GoPro view, or do you want to be in the cockpit where you have to look at instruments? Because I got about 40 miles before I have to really worry about doing other stuff, which is inside of 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So, this little This here is your map, essentially, okay? Your display. We've got the magic intersection, and then happens. Between those 2 points, you'll see a little green circle with TD. This is our top of descent, guys. We're going to be hitting top of descent here in just over 40 miles. You can actually check your top of descent in your progress page under your FMC. You'll notice here that it says top of descent at 1603 Zulu or 40 nautical miles. So that's what we're looking at. We can go outside if it's not going to be too loud here. Now, one thing I want you to take note of, let me see if I can, let's see how loud this is. That's not too bad. Okay, take note, this is a Southwest Airlines flight, Southwest Boeing 737-800. If you look at the textures below, guys, I am using ortho scenery. This is actual scenery. This is actual ground satellite images of what really exists on the ground. I am literally flying over the central southeast portion of Texas, in between Houston and Dallas. So as we start arriving into Dallas, you're going to see the actual roads of Dallas and the map of Dallas. So I am using real ortho scenery. These are generated tiles from satellite imaging. So the funny thing about this is at least 2 people viewing this stream are like 11-year-olds. And I know it for a fact because one is my son and one is his friend. But like I said, I don't care. I really appreciate you guys listening and viewing the introductory flight here. Get back in cockpit. Get ready for this top of descent. Alright, so as we prepare, when we descend, we're going to need to make sure that we have the current METAR. Okay, the METAR is the meteorological conditions of an airport, the observation. So it's going to give us our winds, it's going to give us our temperature, it's going to give us the cloud layers that are observed above the airport and in the vicinity of the airport. And we'll pick that up here in just a moment. All right, so checking the METAR, we've got the wrong one. I put in Dallas Fort Worth, not Dallas Love. Dallas Love, as of 21:55 Zulu, reporting 1608, 10 statute miles of visibility with light rain. Few clouds at 1,700 feet, a few clouds at 4,000 feet, and broken overcast layer at 14,000. Broken overcast at 20,000. Temperature of 22, a dew point of 17, altimeter 3001. All right, cool. So we'll put that in our back pocket and we'll check it. What does our actual plan say? Does that correlate? Landing 29907. No, because it just pulls the current information. Hopefully the clouds will regenerate and start showing us what it's really going to be like. Let's reset our MCP here. Okay. Now, the thing we need to look at is what are our altitudes. Whoops, wrong button. We've got here 21,000 feet, Jackie 14,000, Orville 9,000, Goubert 9,000, Redden 7,000, Bakers 5,000, Nakmi 4, Wupog 3,300, E-Bar 1,600, and the runway itself is at 520 feet. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to set it initially for the 4,000. That is the hard altitude given in the RNAV approach. So that's what we're going to descend to, 4,000. And there are a couple rules we have to keep in mind, and when we get to 10,000 feet, we're going to have to make sure that when we get to 10,000 feet, we're going to have to make sure that we reduce our speed down to 250 knots. We're currently at 290. We'll have to keep an eye on that. The plane should do it itself, but you never know. I've been in stickier situations. We'll turn down the music just a little bit. Well, I'm glad you like it so far. I kept losing frames at the very beginning, and I think it's because you guys have been on YouTube streaming alongside with me, so we might have to have a new rule here. Oh, goodness. Alright, and we're dropping, guys. We are dropping. We noticed that our aircraft is intercepting, well, it should have been intercepting the actual RNAV altitudes. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So what's happening is you'll notice on the right hand screen there's this 19,000 or 1,900, and it was climbing, now it's dropping. What's happening is the aircraft is descending to match the vertical profile that it needs to in order to get to 4,000 feet where when it gets to Nakmi. So what it's doing is it's dropping its nose heavy here to try to make it to the vertical profile. Now we are increasing our speed a lot here, which is going to keep the nose decreasing and dropping, and then we're going to have this snowball effect where my nose is going to drop so much that my speed is going to rise too high that we're going to overspeed. What we do is we have these things called a speed brake. We're going to extend them. We'll take a look at the speed brake right now. The speed brake extends from the wing and reduces the airflow over the wing. It disrupts it. So when it disrupts the airflow over the wing, it actually causes the aircraft to slow down. That's what it looks like from the back. So the point is, we're trying to slow down the aircraft. And notice what happened. When I implemented the speed brakes, now instead of increasing our speed is slowing down, and the aircraft is better able to catch the vertical profile needed. So now that we've done that, I'm going to actually stow the speed brakes and then arm them. In the FMC, when you need drag, which is what the speed brakes cause, is drag, extra drag, it'll tell you drag is required. Just clear that out and continue with your day. There's those cloud layers. Now, if I had a better cloud, a better atmosphere program like Active Sky for XP or X-Plane, I'd have much better looking clouds, but I don't. I have just the default. What you get is what you get. Passing 20,000 feet. So we're about to be under 18,000 feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up that METAR. Again, the altimeter is 3001, so I must change this. I must change this, which is your barometric setting, to 3001. So you see down here at the bottom how it's changing underneath the STD, which is abbreviation for standard, 3001, and then I activate it. The reason I'm doing that is because I am descending. I'm going to descend lower than 18,000 feet, and I know that for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and do the work of setting up my altimeter correctly before I hit that transition of flight level 180 or 18,000 feet. Speed brake is armed, as I said I was going to do. We're going to use auto brake 2. Okay? Auto brake 2 is once I land, the aircraft will start to use its own brakes automatically. Hence the term auto brakes. I'm going to go to my initial reference page under my FMC. What we're looking for is our approach references. This is the reference speed I need to be at for the flap setting I plan to use. Now our METAR calls for 160 at 8 knots with no gusts, and that's not a crazy wind scenario. So I'm actually going to use flaps 40. I'm going to use full flap detention. Okay? Alright. We'll lower our map visual distance here. Alright. So now we're below 18,000 feet. We've already set our altimeter. As we're lowering ourselves, let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. Technically you would turn them on below 10,000 feet. But again, I want to be prepared because these are some of the things that I just forget. And then I end up landing without landing lights because I get so busy in the actual busy work of the approach. The landing lights are on, runway turnoff lights are going to be on. And if you notice, I forgot to turn my engines to continuous. Oh well, it'll be just fine. Let's continue to monitor outside. (13,000 feet and dropping. I am at this point, I am ready for 10,000 feet. At 10,000 feet, we're going to see the nose attitude change. We're going to increase our attitude or pull back on the yoke. And I want to reduce my speed to under 250 knots or less. 250 knots or less for my speed. Take a look around. So what's everybody doing this weekend? Javian, what are you up to besides watching an X-Plane stream, which I highly doubt you've ever played this game before in your entire life? So what are you guys up to? What's everybody up to this weekend? Anybody got any big plans? And we're hitting 10,000. You see how we have increased our attitude and we're dropping speed to meet the Federal Aviation Administration's requirement, or the FAA's requirement, that we be at 250 knots or less by 10,000 feet. If you're watching the stream, you're enjoying what you see, please make sure you put a like in there. So for every person who's watching, if they enjoy the actual stream, I'd really appreciate a like. I don't need you to subscribe if you don't want to. I only want you to subscribe if you truly like the content and you want to watch each and every week. Just so you know, I will be bringing a stream to you every single week. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. unless I can do more. And if I can do more, I will be sure, if you're a subscriber, you'll actually see my schedule. I will schedule it out far enough in advance that you can see it and plan along with me to be a part of it. If you actually like airplanes and aviation and X-Plane, I'd love for you to join me on the flight. So if I'm planning on being on the VATSIM network and you're a member of the VATSIM network, then please go ahead and subscribe, learn when I'm going to fly, and join me. I'd be more than happy to have you guys enjoy the actual flight with me. That sounds like a lot of fun for me personally. So I'd appreciate it if you did that. So yep, like, subscribe if we can. I'd like to get each person who's actually viewing the stream that enjoys it to make sure they put that like and the subscribe if they want continued access to content. And especially hitting the notification bell if you want to actually know when my content is coming up or be notified that I'm live streaming at that moment. We're at 9,000 feet. We're going to be here for just a little bit. We've got another descent coming up here in about, what's that, 10 miles, 15 miles? What are we at? About 20 miles, 10 miles. You see a little green TD? Let me see if I can get there. Boop. TD for 9,000. That means my top of descent out of 9,000 feet. But we're going to hit Gobert. And then just before Redden, we're going to start dropping again. And meet up with the RNAV runway 13 left into Dallas Love Field. Which, guys, I don't know if I told you this, but these are brand new, not brand new, but brand new to me sceneries. These are not default sceneries. These are sceneries that are available on xplane.org and free to download for yourself. You can download the scenery that I'm using. You can download the aircraft that I'm using. You can download the scenery that you see below the aircraft, the ortho scenery or the ortho tiles, the true satellite photo tiles that you see below. Okay? So you can download these too, and you'll be able to use them. Isn't that cool? Casting shadows. Clouds are casting shadows on the ground. That's pretty neat. So you can use everything that I'm using here today, and if you were flying this flight with me, you'd be experiencing the exact same thing I am. And that's what I love about this. So you see this right here, guys? This is a highway. Most likely, this is Interstate 45 in Texas that leads into Dallas-Fort Worth. Interstate 45. Everyone in my household is familiar with Interstate 45. That's what this road is right here. Let's take a look outside. I'll show you. Interstate 45, right below us. All right, there's that drop. Ooh, I love the sound of those engines. The engines are retarting. Retarting, which means they're pulling back. Fantastic. That sounded so good. All right. As we get closer here, let's go ahead and drop the music off the back end. Our plane looks really good, guys, coming in here. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. Well, it's not bad, though. Look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not bad. 45 frames a second-ish. That's not bad at all. I'm very happy with that as we're coming in to land. All right, hit the Radeon intersection. That's where we're at right now. Whoops. Did I? Yeah, I didn't do that right. All right, 7,000 feet, 237.5 knots. Hit the Radeon intersection. We're towards Bacher now. Or Bacher. I don't know how you say it. Let's call it Bacher, because that's B-A-C-H. But I don't know, just it's probably Backer or something like that. I just don't know it well enough. All right, we're into some haze here. We're into some haze. The interesting thing, guys, is we need to be aware of. You see here on the left-hand side, you have one runway 13 left. So as we start looking out at 11 o'clock out of our windows, we should start to see this runway, or at least the airport. And sure enough, there she is. That's Dallas Love Airfield. That's our destination. Runway 13 left is this guy right here of the two parallels. Okay? The great thing about runway 13 left and 13 right is what you see here, this blue. That's actually a man-made lake. And there's a park in which has a running trail and workout trail that you can actually go. You park there, and you can watch the aircraft land just feet above your head. They fly right over you. It is a beautiful park. So if you're ever in Dallas, Fort Worth, and you don't want to go to the Fort Worth viewing area, you can go to Dallas Love and watch Southwest 737s land all day long. It is a beautiful experience. All right, so now we're at 4,000, but everybody remembers our altitude was like 500. Our landing altitude was 520. What was it? Let's take a look. Down here, runway 13 left, 520. So I'm going to reduce my descent to 500. Because I want my aircraft to be able to continue its descent along the RNAV 13 left arrival. We'll reduce our visibility here once again. And we're looking like we're having trouble meeting that 210 knot restriction. So we're going to throw in the speed brakes. And we're going to try to slow this airplane down. When I get below 210, I'm going to start introducing flaps as we start to make our turn. And I want to be full flaps. I want to be full flaps just after we get past the last intersection and we're descending towards the runway. There we go. We're getting there. We'll stow our speed brakes, arm them once again, and go flaps 1. Notice here I've got a transition. I can see it transitioning, and you can Ooh, look at that wing flex. Look at that bounce. Look at it bounce. It's crazy. Crazy sauce. Alright, let's do another flap extension. Oh, that was beautiful. Alright. Now we're hitting about 180 knots. We're aiming for 180 knots. Not a problem. We'll continue our flap. Nice. How does it look on this side? That looks beautiful, boys. That looks beautiful, boys. Look at that bounce. Can you imagine how rough this ride is right now? You're just bouncing all over the place. Alright, we'll continue. I'm going to leave I'm going to leave 10 and 15 degrees of flaps for just a moment longer. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so let's pre-landing checklist here. We go. Landing lights are on. Runway turn off is on. We've got our auto brake set. We've got flaps coming in, not yet full. And our gear is not yet down because we're not ready for it. Not ready for gear to go down. Okay, we're making our base leg. A base leg is the perpendicular leg just before you turn towards the runway to land. Check out that highway. Hi, cars. Oh, there's a cop. You see a cop? Someone did something wrong. That's a cop. He's got his lights on and everything. Alright, next flap. Keep putting in flaps here. Alright, you can actually see the runway, guys. Look at the runway. Right up here. Look at that. Downtown Dallas. The runway's right here. Beautiful approach. We've done an excellent job, guys. Gear is going down. Flaps are now going to 15. We want to actually start heavily throwing in flaps right now. Next flap. Next flap. And then the final 40 degrees of flap. We are a little bit off course here, so we are going to course correct by taking control of the aircraft.
500.
Yep.
400.
Course correct here. And let's get back where we want to be. Oh.
300.
All right. Nice 15 knot wind. So it's a nice crosswind here.
200.
Let's not botch the landing, huh? Stabilize. There we go.
100.
Stabilize, stabilize.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Ooh, that was rough. That was rough. What was it, boys? I can't see what's the landing. What was it, 200, 300? That was a rough landing. But I tell you what, with a stiff wind, I much rather plant this bird on the ground than try to worry about floating it out and making it soft for everybody. All right, so we've landed. You can go ahead and turn that off. All right, we're going to exit here at the next taxiway. Happens to be... I don't even know. I'll have to keep going. I couldn't brake quick enough. All right. Go ahead and stow our speed brakes. Turn off our auto brakes. We'll just roll down to the end of the runway here. All right, here we go. This is Alpha and Bravo. So we're going to turn right on Bravo. Los Angeles? We're in Dallas, bro. Get your places correct. All right, so now that we've landed, let's go ahead and turn on our APU, or auxiliary power unit, because we're going to definitely need that. We landed on 1-3 left. So our taxi is going to be quite the taxi back, but that's okay. We're going over here towards the terminal. All right, flaps are fully retracted. A couple moments, I'll go ahead and turn off the landing lights. Thing is a sloth. All right. Runway turn-off lights can come off. Landing lights can come off. Taxi lights can go on. And I can transfer my power to the APU. These can come back to auto. And come back down here. Go outside real quick. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Watch this girl go by. Nice. Inside of an hour worth of flight time, guys. Look down there. 51 minutes. 51 minutes. Bravo Romeo Sierra. All right. Oh, that is not what I was wanting. Let's choose this one here. This seems like a good little place to stop. This is number 1. Hey, that's convenient. That's convenient. Gate number 1. We'll line up. There we go. And then we'll keep moving. We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving. Whoa. 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 Why are we jeering so far back? Come on. I want you to go forward. That'll do. Alright, so now that we're parked at the gate, we are going to put on our parking brake. We are going to make sure that we have APU fully on, which it is. And as we come up, as we come up here and our APU is on, we can let the bleed carry the load of the air conditioner. We can then come back down and kill the fuel by moving the cutoff. The fuel cutoff switch down, we'll cutoff switch down, and now our engines will stop. All right, that was honestly a great flight. I thoroughly enjoyed that flight. It was beautiful. I really am enjoying the ortho scenery that I installed over the last day or so. I've got all of Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado. And that's mainly because I'm planning next week's flight. We're going to be going from Dallas, Love Field, still in the Southwest 737. And we are going to do the next leg, which is to Denver, Colorado. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really, really excited about that. So that is what's coming up here. That was a beautiful flight. I think we should go back, and now is obviously the time to see how trashy that landing was. So we're going to go back, and we're actually going to watch those landings all over again. Let's run over to our replay mode, and let's see how far out we have to go. Ooh, birdie. Okay, here we go. Let's start watching these replays. Let's go left wing view first. Let's check this one out. I love that flex. Look at that. That is so cool. I love how it's just bouncing. Love how it's just bouncing. Alright, so we got full flaps. Oh, that's so beautiful. The ortho scenery is nice. I mean, Texas is relatively flat, but that's still beautiful scenery. Look at that. That is beautiful. Full flaps coming in. Nice dark clouds. The dark clouds to mimic that light rain that's happening over Dallas right now. It's beautiful. All right. It was a 15 knot crosswind off the nose, off the right side of the nose, and it was pushing me. It was pushing me a lot. And I've got to, I think I need to fine tune. There's the lake. I need to fine tune my controls, but let's watch. Oh, oh, that's so rough. Oh, anybody need back surgery? Does anybody need back surgery? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's so hard. Okay, let's go back. Let's watch this again. Oh my goodness. Let's watch from here. Let's watch from here. Oh! Oh, you know it's rough when it sounds like that. Oh, goodness. Goodness me. Guys, I think this is when they take away my license. I mean, honestly, they probably should have, but... Alright, let's watch it from here one more time. This is so great. This is so great. And guys, right before you land, there's the lake. That was where the park would be. Oh! Oh, goodness. Alright, let's see another view. Left side, in front of the engine. Let's watch the wing flex from this view as I crush into the runway with absolutely no regard to the comfortability, the comfortableness of said landing. Ooh! You know, it did look good out this way. You know, it looked a lot better out this view, didn't it? I'm sure it did. It couldn't have looked nearly as bad from this angle. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's look. Actually, it didn't. That is amazing. That actually didn't seem too bad. Oh, that's nice. All right. All right, I got to figure out how far out I need to be for this next one. All right, there you go. Let's go F2. Down, 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 down. Go here. Alright, bring it on back. Bring it on back. Alright, let's zoom in on this bad boy. Oh, hey, Southwest. Boom. Yeah, not a care in the world. I just went gadunk. I just put that baby down. I didn't even care. Didn't even care. Alright, you know what? I got an idea. Let's come over here. Let me let this guy get far enough away. I had to do the course correction because the RNAV didn't line up with the scenery. Which, guys, that's going to happen sometimes when you have scenery like that. You're liable to get it to where it doesn't match up. Okay, so we are literally on the ground. Let me see. Up. Yep, we're where you would be in order to watch this. Where's the aircraft? Where'd you go? Uh-oh. I lost her. Fellas, I lost her. She's still going backward? No, we're good. We're good. Meow. Nice. That looks cool. Let's watch it. Watch me just tank the landing. Look at that. I'm just like, I'm rocking back and forth. It's very unsteady. Ooh. That looks horrible from here. It really looks bad. Alright, and the last replay we will do here today. Oof. Hey, silver lining here, good news, right on the touchdown markers. Look at that. Did you see that? Right on the touchdown markers. Yeah, I planted it into the ground and basically broke every part of that wheel, but that's okay, because right in the touchdowns. Boosh! That's right. Beautiful. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining me for my very first stream. I can't express how much gratitude I have for even the few people that will view this. I do appreciate if you guys couldn't make it for the live stream and you happen to be watching this after the fact, please put a like in there, subscribe. I will be back each and every Saturday to continue bringing streams just like this to you. I do have the Boeing 737. We have, like I said, another flight planned here next Saturday. Most likely to Denver, Colorado. But if not, I will be back next Saturday, and we will get to do this all over again. Thank you again for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if that's your thing. I'm always welcome to constructive feedback. I really am. If there's something you thought I could have done better, or if you know something I don't know, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will do my best to get better. You're only as good as what you know, so there's always opportunity for you to learn more and to change how you play the simulation itself, because it's not a game. We'll do one more landing here, guys. We will do one more landing, and that is where I will leave you for the day. Again, like, subscribe, comment down below, and hit the notification bell if it is your fancy-dancy thing to do. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Walking through the space of the hollow empty. Kiss me on the neck as you pull me closely. Feel your warm breath rush through my body. Take my hand and I let you follow. Let's get started, there's no tomorrow. I know what I want. Pull me close and breathe the cool air. Feel my breath, let me take you somewhere. You and I escape together to nowhere. Take me to a place in the nowhere. I just wanna set up a home there. I just wanna set up a home there. I heard people staying nowhere. I just wanna breathe in the clean air. I just wanna breath of the fresh air. Breath of the fresh air.